Let's face it, the regular media is a joke. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be contained by people that got the facts before they reported it. Well, we are bringing that back. This is the Brooks Report Live. We are the true voice of Southeast Texas. Breaking news, weather, traffic alerts, events, Q&As. If it's happening in Southeast Texas, we are there. This is the Brooks Report Live. And now your host, Adam C. Brooks.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us here on the Brooks Report Live. I am your host, Adam Brooks. If you would, put a 1 in the comments if you're watching us live, put a 2 if you're watching the recorded version, and like always, let us know what city you're watching us from. Please be sure and share this broadcast. Invite your friends, tag a few friends in the comment section if you will. Help us grow here on the Brooks Report Live, and stay tuned for the show. Thank you guys for joining us. Well, like I said, the doctor of all doctors, you know him as Dr. Freeman, your favorite doctor here in Hardin County for Hardin County Pediatrics. Doctor, thank you for joining me tonight.
You're welcome, Adam. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. No
problem. And I really hope you're in a cool environment and staying cool, because I'm telling you, this sun, we just, I was watching Dana's forecast earlier today on the program, and he was talking about we've had record-setting amount of days at triple temperatures.
It has been horrible, absolutely hot. Everybody seems to be melting out there.
And I can really relate to that because I do a lot of work outside, and that's why I wanted to talk to you this evening, is because we've got the back to school. We've got the wellness checkups that everybody needs to be taking, whether they're playing sports or just, hey, look, before we go back to school, let's get checked up. You guys do that sort of thing over there.
We certainly do, and definitely encourage it. It's something that most schools require these sports physicals as part of it, and coming in and doing your well visit along at the same time is an excellent opportunity for that. So we do the full physical. We make sure your child is in healthy, good condition, make sure that everything's up to date, and make sure they're going to be safe for their sports season.
Well, you talk about sports. My son is actually at soccer practice right now, and he was huffing and puffing. My wife just called. She was like, man, this is brutal. And so it's very important. And speaking of that, what are some of those signs, when we talk about extreme temperatures like we are, we've got to look out for, dehydration. We've got to look out for heat stroke and all those sort of things. What are some of those things that we can not only do to prevent, but what are signs that we can recognize and say, hey, this doesn't look right. This guy needs help.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first and foremost, you really want to stay hydrated. It's so important in athletics, and anybody who's outside in the heat in general. You need to be drinking plenty of water. You need to be hydrating at least, every 30 to 45 minutes, taking a break and drinking something cool, refreshing. Water is perfect. Something with electrolyte balance in it is great as well. And, taking a break from the heat periodically is extremely important. These kiddos who are out on the field, they're out doing more exertion, and they're sweating, they're hot, they're in the sun. They need to be taking more frequent breaks. It's best if they come off the field every 30 minutes or so, just to get a break, get out of the heat, drink some water, cool down for a minute. You want to be looking for things that, if they have headaches, if they are starting to look pale, they need to be coming off the field. They need to be getting in the shade. They need to be cooling off. Those are some important things to be watching for with these kiddos. And it's hot out there. They really need to stay on top of that. I think the coaches probably do a decent job of making sure they stay hydrated.
I'm pretty sure they do. And it's not, we reference the sports because it's all back to school, and you guys are doing the wellness checks over there. Right. But there's folks that work in this heat day in and day out. Sure. Your roofers, the plumbers, your regular contractors, the oil and gas industry, and so it's important to understand. And I'd like to encourage our audience that's watching right now, if you have any questions or if you have any comments you could add to the conversation, we certainly appreciate it. But Dr. Freeman, going back to the wellness, you guys are right there. A lot of people know it as the old Leak Sealers building. It's Hardin County Pediatrics. You can't miss it right before you get who takes Boudin, all that stuff. I mean, oh my
Right.
God, about good food. I don't want to get off track here, but can what are your hours of operation over there? Can these folks just walk in, or do they need to call, make an appointment? How does that work?
So that's a good question. We do take walk-ins, absolutely. But if they call, it's a bit easier to get them scheduled. That way, we'll know when you're coming. They'll have a scheduled appointment time. But if you're in a hurry and you forgot and you want to bring your child in, that's fine. Absolutely, we take walk-ins for all of those things. For sick, for well, it's really okay to do that. I don't mind. We have time that we can fit you in, especially for sick visits. You can't always plan on when you're going to be sick. You never know. You wake up and now your child's sick. So come in whenever you can. But yes, for those well visits too, if you just walk in, that's fine. But we do prefer if you can't schedule. That way you can guarantee you a slot. And they will be filling up, get closer to start of school. A lot of folks will be coming in.
Right. And just remind us one more time, what are those hours and days of operation?
Yes. Yeah, so it's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Okay, Monday through Friday. That's pretty simple enough.
Yeah.
And somebody didn't ask a question. I don't know if they asked a question, but here it says, can a person go into shock by rapid cooling once they start showing signs of heat exhaustion or heat stroke?
Yes, and you don't want to just rapidly cool somebody. You do kind of want to cool them down gradually. Absolutely. Yeah, so it's not where you'd want to just, dunk them in ice or anything like that. Don't do anything that's going to put them into shock, okay? Just get them cooled down.
I appreciate Edgar asking that question because, when I get that hot, that's what I want to go do. Is I want to go jump in a cool pool or,
That's a shock to your system.
That's right. Well, you know what, Dr. Freeman, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you want to get out there just, as a precaution's sake? I know you can't handle case by case or anything like that, but,
Right.
If there's something else you want to wrap up here with before we go.
Make sure you use sunscreen. It is hot and it is sunny. And that's one thing that a lot of folks forget to do is they forget to apply the sunscreen. And you can get second-degree burns from just the sun. And it's especially dangerous in the infants. So make sure you're applying sunscreen at least every hour.
Well, guys, there you have it. Like I said, the doctor of all doctors, your one and only Dr. Christian Freeman, right there at Hardin County Pediatrics. Thank you for joining me, sir. I know you've got a busy schedule and you've been taking care of patients all day. In fact, you took care of a couple of mine.
I sure did. Right.
That's one of the reasons that kind of helped spawn this. So thank you for joining us. Again, guys, we're going to try to do this occasionally. So if you have questions for Dr. Freeman, be sure to ask our topics that you would like us to discuss. Feel free to ask us, send us a message here on the Bruce Report Live. Don't forget to share this broadcast and go check out their page. It's just Hardin County Pediatrics on Facebook. It's easy to find. You can find it on our Facebook page as well. So go be sure and give them a like and ask them questions personally if you have questions about switching doctors or whatever, so you don't have to drive all the way to Beaumont or Mid-County or Houston. You can just do a 5-minute drive anywhere in Lumberton or Silsbee or Kuntz. It doesn't really matter.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So again, Dr. Freeman, thank you for joining us. I want to thank our viewers as well here. So
absolutely.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, Adam. Thank you very much.
Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.